Okay, so fool me once. Uh, Let me actually turn this around. Okay, okay. Uh, just a little bit. Okay. All right. At least we're square here. Okay. Fool me once. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Blah blah blah. Uh, you know, you gotta get smarter, and you gotta get better. Just whatever it takes. Uh, but you gotta get a, you gotta be able to do it. Like it's what you got. You gotta be able to do something that you can sustain. And for the most part, just the way to think about it is illegal activity is unsustainable. Uh, but anyway, this is not. This is a little bit about what is going on in the world today. This is mostly about how I'm going to make my first video about the Mars beginning. And you know what is that it's documentable. I'm going to leave this one public. I gotta look back at some of my videos and look at back at the things that I said, because it's looking like it's gonna be this thing where I'm gonna have to be super duper duper careful about what I say, uh, because it looks like it's like, I mean, we will. It looks like it's gonna be feisty. It's gonna be something's gonna be feisty, or something about this is gonna be somewhat feisty. Uh, so I'm not gonna say anything about uh, you know, the personal stuff, but I'll just keep it right here. Is that stuff in the news is the stuff that I'm working on. Every top major thing. That's where my head's at all day. And I have the ability. I'm an iOS developer. I can teach myself the other languages, and I'm pretty sure at this point I'm almost there. You're pretty much knowing how to put a computer together and take it apart and hack and do all that stuff. Uh, Hack and all that stuff. Like I'm pretty close to getting everything. I'm gonna use my actual skill, which is problem solving and creativity, I guess, or whatever. But I'm gonna use my actual skill to make an unhackable computer. To make the unstoppable force to an unmovable, to the immovable object for the unstoppable force. Make the immovable object and see what happens. So I'm gonna make the immovable object. It won't be a statistical thing. It'll be a full bulletproof safe thing. Full bulletproof safe thing. I don't really know why we've been using computers that are so actually incredibly unsafe. Compared to how we can make a computer. You can make a much safer model, a much safer unit, a much safer computer, much safer I mean, even we can even reinvent the idea. Like we can even that's just how I am. We can reinvent the idea, and we can say, hey, we don't actually really want to do like we want to. Let's just say very practically speaking, we want to improve our attention span. Well, why don't we make a new device that is like actually geared towards more of a different flow of say schooling, or your life after school. Maybe even more specifically, what an American life after school should look like. We can reinvent the computer that way too. You know what is that? Because it's me and all this stuff. I'm telling you, we can start. I will start with a base computer. We can go anywhere we want with our ideas and with our schools and with our ideology. People can go wherever they want with this stuff. But this is like my when you catch this leprechaun right here, like I'm like a leprechaun. And it's actually honestly is like it's crazy, but don't worry about it. It's just like I'm like this leprechaun, and I don't, it's like I'm this leprechaun, and then you know what is like, I don't know. I'll admit it, dude. I'll admit it is that I have definitely delved in the mindset of like this being the last days, and looking and reading Revelation and looking at Revelation, and then honestly seeing like looking at it, and then you know what is that? I'll go ahead and say it is that the key to look one of the keys to looking at Revelation is understanding that it's in dream code. That's my belief. I think you'll see that it's true. It's written in dream code, like dream codex. Dream codex. The whole thing is like a dream, uh, and it's actually a nightmare, and it's like mostly a nightmare. But the thing is like honestly, is that like for what I'm seeing and all this stuff, like for like the power of the human spirit, the power of the human mind. Uh, I'm like right here with this stuff. I'm like I'm ready to do absolutely whatever is necessary to promote a safe future. Uh, and obviously a safe Christian future would be ideal. And with the time travel and all this stuff, I don't know, these people out here saying that they're God. With the time travel and all this stuff, the nation of Israel is going to say, wow, blah, 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 blah. They're going to say, wow, I mean, look at Jesus. That's what they're going to say. It should be it would be actually a pretty nice little, nice little tune. And it'll be this thing, I mean, maybe it'll, like, it itself will make God want to call it quits. But honestly, the whole thing about Revelation and then the whole dream and all that stuff, it's like a couple things you need to know, and you need to be a Christian to like read it, and then you needed to like kind of know that like the thing is actually written in time travel code. It starts by talking about this ancient woman, Jezebel. It's like chapter two. Chapter two, he talks about this ancient woman, Jezebel, in this ancient zone that's already long been gone for hundreds and hundreds. If you look it up, it's the ancient Thyatira. He says those in ancient Thyatira. Thyatira is now Akazar, Turkey Akazar, and Akazar means White Castle. And it goes along with my Nazi theory uh, that Jezebel was somehow some kind of a Nazi actually from the future, instead of actually some ancient lady from the past. And then this thing has actually all itself been just like spinning open. It's actually this kind of ancient lady from the future. That's my theory, because that was what I was working on at the time, was time travel, and those flying saucers show up in World War II, all that stuff, and it was just perfect for me to see like kind of this whole congruent thing I think that I'm doing, that I'm working on it every day. Putting my own hands into it. It's not like a matter. It's like you have to raise me. If you want to do this stuff, you have to raise me to do it. And I was gonna finish. Uh, like this was my race. The race. You fight the good fight. You fight the good fight, and you try to win this race right here, is to like infinite life and infinite time travel. So yeah, but a little bit about Revelation is that there's a one thing about that about it, and I don't even remember where it's in the Bible, but you'll look it up. Is that nobody knows the day or hour, not even Jesus, but only the Father. You have to understand, how is that even possible too? That not Jesus can know. That's crazy. Uh, only not even the Father, not even Jesus knows. Only the Father, not the angels, not anybody, not Eric Anderson, not anybody knows when the end is. You cannot predict it. You cannot predict it. You cannot predict it. And then that is the main key. That is one of the main things about how this is in life. Is that give that a second. Is that nobody can even predict it? No, I mean you can't even try to make it. You can't predict it. And then the rest of it is, dude. The rest of it is just this crazy freaking nightmare that God found kind of interesting. And and all that stuff. So, uh, you know, basically, I say all that to say this. I think what we should do is I should run for president in 2032, and I should run for president in 2032, and and I should make this time travel Mars party. Uh, this time travel Mars party. Uh, so just giving all that stuff a second to sink in there for a second. But basically, we should do a Mars party, and I've been trying to say potluck. We should do a potluck. We should do a potluck. So let me just like, let me, I think the word is digress. Uh, you know, what I see right now, and through the news and all this stuff, uh, I mean, this time is like significantly chaotic. This period of time is significantly chaotic. What is in the news is like significantly chaotic. It's chaotic. Uh, all this stuff going on at the same time, and like, I mean, it's just like, it's like, I mean, it's every country. It's not just the Ukraine. It's and us. It's Russia. Uh, Now we're talking about like possibly South Korea. Uh, you know, with I'm not really sure, but with the human flesh stuff, like that's crazy. Uh, and yeah, so what we should do is we should throw a crazy Mars beginning potluck party. That's what we should do.